stream. Thanks for tuning in to Hardcore Speedball Season 1, Round 3 of 2021. Tonight we've got 3 teams duking it out for the right to move through to the next rounds. We have TGB Gorillas, Havoc Squad, and of course Record Crew. Thanks for joining us, and of course thank you to the Season 1 stream sponsors, GBA Gel Blasters Australia, RPM Tech Shop, GBU, Tidy Toys, Vadios Clothing Company, and Strikeforce Mod Shop. And again, down on the field tonight, we do have Nathan Rosa Photography taking a heap of really high quality photos of the team. So if you're a fan of the team, or if you're a supporter of the teams out there and you want to get pictures for them, make sure you hit him up as well. In the next couple of minutes, we should see the team starting to enter the field for the pre-game pictures and heading into the first round. So for the first match. So for the first match tonight, we do have Havoc Squad versus TGB Gorillas as well. Fun fact: the TGB Gorillas apparently have travelled quite a distance to compete in tonight's matches. Apparently travelling for about 2.5 hours just to get here. And down on the field tonight, we do have a new ref in training as well. Chris from Hell's Gels has actually joined us to help make sure everyone's abiding to the rules and points are awarded correctly as well. So make sure you give a shout out to him in the comments as well. Now, just as another bit of info as well, so Havoc Squad tonight, even though they're joining us this season, this team is actually a fresh team. So the guys that played, or compared to the guys that played last season as well, this is actually a fresh team. So we should expect to see hopefully some new players and different styles. You can see just there in the background through the nets, the teams are starting to enter the field. Here we go, teams entering the field. So again, tonight we have Havoc Squad, TGB Gorillas, and Record Crew. Digging the pink pants on whichever player that is down the back. If you didn't tune in last round, you'll also see our refs are now sporting their brand new jerseys, looking pretty schmick. Of course, those jerseys are from Vadios Clothing Company.
Good luck. Welcome to round, what is it? Round 3. Here we go. Game on. Let's go. Alright, Havoc, TGB in the middle.
Alright, here we go. Havoc versus TGB.
Which side? TGB, Havoc!
Thanks for tuning in, Trick. Good to see you here. Looks like we're getting some nice aggressive moves from the team on the right. I didn't catch which team actually got pushed onto that right-hand side. And just confirmation, so that's Havoc squad on the left-hand side and TGB on the right. Looks like we might be down to maybe 2v2, 2v1. You'll see that nice push from TGB starting to swing around that that flank. Obviously got cut off. Looks like we might even be down to 1v1. I can't tell what's in those lower pillars. Especially as a fresh team into the league, it can be difficult to know when to make a push or when to make a move here. Nice, looks like he managed to tap the player sitting up in that pillar. Hey Yannicki, thanks for joining us. And first game goes to Havoc, so that's one game to Havoc, 2 more games to play for this match. Now, just as a reminder as well, so there's only 3 teams on the field for these preliminary rounds, which means each team will face each other twice throughout the night, and teams with the most wins will push forward onto the following rounds.
All right, teams, are you ready?
So now we have Havoc on the right, TGB on the left.
3, 2, 1, go!
So it looks like Havoc might be a little slow on the pushes down the side there, and possible red card, not quite sure. Hey Aussie, thanks for joining us. And Richard, thanks for joining us as well in the comments. So you'll see there's a little bit of confusion there as well. So typically at the end of each round, the live players remain on the field so the refs can tally points, and dead players that remain behind the barricade as well. So you kind of see these this confusion amongst the fresh teams.
GBA win that game because Havoc have had 2 no-shoulder resulting in the red card. All right, teams, are you ready? Yeah. Refs, are you ready? Ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so again, we're back now to Havoc on the left-hand side and TGB on the right. You'll see TGB's pushing nice and hard into that castle early on and trying to get the advance on the other team. You can see Aussie Elites joined us in the chat as well. Thanks for watching, guys. So the other thing you'll see, if you've tuned into earlier matches as well with the more experienced teams, there's a lot more communication usually on those teams, and it's really critical to talk to your teammates and tell each other what you see to be able to win the rounds. You'll see some of these less experienced teams don't talk as much, and it looks like we've got another red card called. So just got confirmation as well that previous game was a red card called due to shouldering, or lack of. Hey Kendo, thanks for joining us as well. Good to see you guys here.
Take the match. Nice match, boys.
All right, 5 minutes till the next match. Next match we'll see tonight is Havoc Squad versus Record Crew. So we'll give them 5 minutes to rest, rebomb, and head back onto the field.
The HSG V2G was designed with advice from some of the best techs in the industry. The prototyping, the manufacturing, it's all Australian, made right here in Queensland using world-class materials.
I'm just waiting to find out what the final results were on those red cards and who actually won that match. Yeah, Max, we'll get back to you in a second. I'm just waiting to see what the red cards and whatnot were issued during that game. All right, so just confirming, for that last match, TGB took the match. They actually won. So Havoc won the first game, and then the subsequent games were won by TGB due to red cards being issued to Havoc. And in both cases, that was due to shouldering or lack of shouldering properly with their blasters. And again, you know, some of the more experienced teams, especially the guys that are in the chat here, will see we, you know, in terms of the reffing and staying on top of those rules, it's critical to keep those blasters shouldered. A lot of the new teams or less experienced players tend to let it slip off a little bit, and that's enough to get a yellow card. Hey Morgan, thanks for joining us. Alright, so just again, match 2 is Havoc Squad versus Record Crew. Now, just while we wait as well for the teams to enter the field, just want to remind you, the registration for 2021 Season 2 has in fact opened. So if you've got teams that you want to enter into the next season, then by all means jump onto the Hardcore Speedball website and make sure you register your teams nice and early. There are only 12 slots, all right? So get your team together, get your registration sorted so that you can be ready for Season 2. If you haven't played any Speedball before, or you just want to kind of dip your toes, there is a casual session coming up on Sunday as well. I think there's only 1 or 2 slots remaining there, so if you want to get in and try it, absolutely get on there and buy a ticket. It's on Sunday. You can come in, play around with the rules, and understand how it all works. Hey Callum, thanks for joining us in the comments. You've only missed the first match, so the games between Havoc Squad and TGB Gorillas. All right, heading into the next match. So we have Havoc squad on the right-hand side and Wreck-It on the left. Let's see how these guys go. I've heard some pretty good things for Wreck-It. There's a lot more talk on the field now. Nice. You see Wreck-It just took down the attacker in the snake as well. Looks like that was a trade down the end. And we have our first draw for the evening. Hey Ray, yeah, that was a draw. Here we go, game 2. Let's see, I think Havoc's going pretty deep on the castle there in a prone position. And you heard it from Rowan, Havoc take that game. So you'll now be watching again with Havoc on the right hand side and Wreck-It on the left. Hey Jane, so just to repeat, that is the TGB Gorillas were in fact the team that travelled 2.5 hours. Just a question in the comments. Alrighty, so that time around we had one team on each side had a win, and the first was a draw. So what you're seeing now is a fourth game between these two teams to try and break that tie. And we're back to Havoc on the left and Wreck-It on the right. And I think there was a question in there from Morgan as well. Wreck-It Crew is a newer team in the league, but I've heard some pretty good things from some other tournaments.
This wins the match. Let's see it. Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Looks like both teams might be playing a little more conservatively this time around, knowing that the winner's on the line for their first match. Looks like a yellow card issued as well. Nice sweep from Wreck-It Crew following through to get that flag. We'll see what the results are in a second.
In the middle. Woo! First golden game, boys. For Wreck-It. Wreck-It win the golden game. Nice match, boys.
Looks like Wreck-It won that game, so I think they walk away winning this match. Some good questions in the comments from Callum. Are they actually communicating or just screaming? It definitely sounds like a whole bunch of blurry screaming from the camera, but you can definitely understand each other if you're calling the right stuff. Alright, so that'll be a 5-minute break, and we should see Wreck-It Crew. That was going to happen sooner or later. Wreck-It Crew will be rejoining the field, and this time going up against the TGB Gorillas.
Thanks to GBU and obviously Stig Industries as well for supplying all of the components that we need to have our kick-ass blasters. If you're looking for any parts for any kind of build, come down, give GBU a try. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Look, it was going to happen. Everyone knows that was going to happen. And again, thank you to the stream sponsors for Season 1. That ad from GBU, they got some really good gear down there. So go check them out if you're looking for some high-end builds. Hey Justin, good question. Just a question in the comments there, so asking to run through some of the call-outs for someone new to this. So I actually have a little map that I haven't included in the stream, so I might bring it in for the next round. But the standards, essentially, you have those tall towers in the top corners and bottom corners. So those are generally called pillar. I have heard some people call them tower. The triangles, the 4 that you see to each side, are generally Dorito. So you'll get left and right Dorito. Bearing in mind, some teams do have, different calls, whatever works for them. The middle, the big red X is either X or middle or Mexico. The top side where you see you've got two referees up near the netting is generally referred to as snake. And the bottom side, the ones that look like staples, are castles. So usually what you'll hear is teams calling locations or positions to put supporting fire into, or where someone on the opposing team is actually sitting, so you don't get shot in the ribs. Alright, so this time around we've got Wreck-It Crew, I have it correct this time, and the TGB Gorillas. I'm not sure if anyone else heard that terrible screeching sound. I hope someone hasn't stuffed their blaster up. It really sounds like they have. Alright, looks like we've got Wreck-It Crew on the right hand side and TGB Gorillas on the left, easily identified by the pink pants.
You guys switch the player out when he's on the field, correct? Yeah. Back on the field. Once he touches the field, you're injured. Switch out.
Well, it looks like Wreck-It might be in a bit of trouble here. So they had one player in the field and then have swapped him out after entering the field. So it looks like Rowan's down there sorting that out right now.
Whenever you walk on the field with brother.
Yeah, Morgan, I think someone's blaster did just cock it, which might be why they've tried to swap around. Here we go, first game for Wreck-It Crew versus TGB Gorillas. Looks like TGB might have lost a couple of players pretty early there. Oh no. Mistake there from TGB, so they grab the flag, so they get some points for that, but have pushed quite early, not checking that the field is clear. So you'll notice that some of the more experienced teams tend to actually clear the field before then pushing in and grabbing that flag.
Right players in the middle. Yo, we're waiting on you, bro. Make me wait.
and TGB take that game. 2 players left alive. So just got a question in the comments from Morgan about blasters going down pre-start. So my understanding of the rules is that once you enter the field, everything you have on you must stay with you. You cannot leave the field, you cannot go and change your gear, you cannot change your players. So you need to make sure everything's good to go before you step onto that field.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready?
Alright, TGB on the right hand side, Wreck-It Crew on the left. Ooh, quite a few players from TGB wiped out at the start. And really nice sweep to finish it off from Wreck-It Crew.
That's game! Last players in the middle!
Hey Matt, thanks for joining us on the stream.
Wreck-It win that game! Switch sides!
And Wreck-It win that game.
That's 1 game each, boys. Who's gonna take it? Who wants it? Teams, are you
Alright, that's 1 game each, so let's see who takes this match.
refs, are you ready?
TGB on the left and Wreck-It Crew back on the right hand side.
Go!
Ooh, really fast and hard push there from Wreck-It Crew. Looks like he swept through that T and cleaned up whoever was left on TGB.
That's game! Last players in the middle! Wreck-It take this game and they take the match! Nice match, boys!
And you heard it straight from head ref Rowan down there. Wreck-It take that game and they take the match. So we'll be moving from here into match 4, 5 and 6, where each team will verse each other again for a second time tonight. And by the end of the evening, we'll see who has the most wins and who will be going home.
Havoc, TG game! 5 minutes!
Alright, just give us a second and we'll see if we can cut down to Rowan and have a chat to him. Just going to see what he's up to. Looks like he might be sorting some stuff out with the rest of the ref team. We'll try and catch up with him a bit later. Seeing a bit of a chat going on the Facebook comments here. Looks like Mitchell's talking about running a Milson team in the Speedball format. I would love to see it. Please come and do it. And for the next match, we see Havoc Squad versus the TGB Gorillas again.
Havoc TGB, 2-minute warning!
Hey, thanks for the feedback there, Jason. Just a comment in there saying the angle's good and the stream's looking pretty good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Trent, can you hear me? Yep. I'm talking to the GoPro. Can you hear me? That's what I asked earlier today. Copy that. Havoc TGB, 1 minute. Make your way on the field. Captain, turn up.
All right, here we go. Sounds like we're 1 minute out. The teams will be entering the field shortly. Hey, Michael, good question on the score tally. So generally what happens is those points get tallied and validated in here. We'll see if there's some way of including an indication of wins, but it gets a little complicated throughout the evening.
Establish your dominance. TGB, Havoc.
All right, TGB to the left-hand side. Again, you can see those nice bright pink camo pants. I can't miss that on the stream. And Havoc on the right-hand side. So this is the second time this team has faced off for the evening.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, you can hear that chatter on the Havoc team trying to push down that side. And looks like they finished that up with a sweep down the back. Possible yellow card as well.
That's game! Right players in the middle!
Just had a funny comment. So with that push down that snake on the high side from Havoc Squad, looks like one of those players got used as a meat shield, whether that was deliberate or not. Looks like it worked for him though.
Switch sides!
Alright, and it sounds like one of the players down there might be having trouble with his blaster, but again, those rules stipulate you cannot leave the field, you must remain on the field with all of your current equipment, so...
Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, game 2. TGB on the right hand side and Havoc on the left. There we go, a bit of chatter happening on that left hand side. And wow, that was quite the sweep. Looks like the player on the right hand side there was completely surrounded by the end of it.
Next game, right players in the middle. Havoc wins that game. Switch sides.
And Havoc takes that game, switching sides for the last game for this match.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Final game for this match. Havoc on the right, TGB on the left. Looks like TGB's finding it difficult to get into those Doritos nice and early.
Go, 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 go! That's a red card, boys! Right players in the middle!
And that's a red card, end of that game. Let's find out what that was about.
TGB win that game! Havoc wins the match! Thanks for the match, boys!
Alright, looks like the win for that game was awarded to TGB, but Havoc has in fact walked away with the win for that match.
Good game, guys. Good game. So, third game, Havoc got done for not making it back to the ball in time and not shouldering, which resulted in the red card.
Alright, so just talking about some of the penalties there, it sounds like... Hang on. Alright, just give us a second. We'll see if we can cross over to Rowan and get a bit of an explainer as to what just happened.
Havoc, record! You're up next! 5 minutes!
Hey Rowan, look, thanks for joining us on camera down here. Hang on, just give us a sec. Yeah, it looks like we're having some troubles with that camera, so we might just move away from that. I'll find out what happened with that red card. And again, just as a reminder, if you're seeing this gameplay for the first time and it looks exciting for you and you want to give it a shot without putting your neck on the line in the league, there are some spots left on the casual night this Sunday. So go and hit the Hardcore Blasters website. And I think there's a Hardcore Speedball section there where you can buy some tickets. Last we checked, I think there were only 1 or 2 spots left. So get in now if you want to go and give it a shot. Have some fun in the casual games and learn how it all works. It's a really good social environment to figure it all out. And from here, we're heading into match 5. So we are seeing Havoc Squad versus Wreck-It Crew for the second time tonight. All right, and I just got some clarity from the head ref as well as to what was going on with those penalties. So the penalties were actually awarded against Havoc Squad, one which was not shouldering, which is pretty common to see, but the other one was actually dawdling back to the dead zone. So when you're playing in the league, it's taken very seriously. Once you get hit, you need to move away and from that area to the dead zone or the closest dead zone as quickly as possible. Hey Corey, thanks for joining us in this stream. Seeing a comment here asking to see more trick shots. Corey, I think you need to come down and play for us to see some of that. All right, here we go. Wreck-It Crew on the left-hand side and Havoc on the right.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
And you can hear that chatter again as soon as they've hit the field. Just give us a second.
Red card, boys! End of the game! Make your way in the middle of the field! Line plays in the middle! Wreck-It takes that game! Switch sides!
All right, you've heard from Rowan. Wreck-It takes that game, switching sides again.
So, Havoc got 2 yellow cards, 1 for no shouldering, and 1
And just to confirm, so sorry about that video feed, but looks like, just give us a sec. Yeah, so Havoc just got the same penalties as they did in the last match. They just got done for no shouldering and again dawdling to the dead zone. So hopefully they can clean that up real quick.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
As I was saying before though, you can definitely hear the chatter pick up when Wreck-It Crew was on the field. They clearly played together quite a bit, and they're doing a really good job of coordinating where to attack and what to cover. you'll see there was a push straight into the Dorito there as well. I'll get the scribble pen out in a second after this match and talk about how people are actually able to push into that.
Right players in the middle. That game goes to record. Switch sides.
Looks like that game was given to Wreck-It, and switching sides for the last game of match 5.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
And that's game. Players left on the field, so yeah, it looks like a red card is being called again.
2 for Wreck-It. 4 for Havoc. All right, Wreck-It takes that game, takes that match. Thanks for the match, boys.
And Wreck-It takes that game and takes that match. This time around, Havoc was given 2 no shouldering cards, so penalties awarded for not shouldering blasters correctly. Alright, now after this we'll be moving into match 6, where we'll see Wreck-It Crew up against TGB Gorillas as the final match for the night. Now, just quickly as well, for those of you that, again, haven't played on these fields or played this type of game before, something I just want to talk about there that one of the Wreck-It Crew players showed. If I remember correctly, they were kind of sitting up around here and then managed to more or less walk straight up into that Dorito. So one of the things that can be really hard to see, especially when you're kind of spectating the sport, you can see everything that's going on. But when you're sitting behind this Dorito and trying to cover lanes, you're trying to limit kind of how much of your body you're actually exposing. So what tends to happen is you'll have a field of vision that is going to look something like this, and possibly looking down this way as well. So what some players can actually take advantage of once those numbers are whittled down is you can kind of push straight up in this line, and if you're sneaky enough, if you're quiet enough, it means you can get right up against this Dorito without that person even knowing. The same thing can be done against these pillars and some other forms of cover as well. In this particular case, for whatever reason, it seemed like whichever player was sitting here didn't actually cover and take out that Wreck-It player as well. So he got very lucky, but it was a very good sweep. There you go. Questions in the comments from Aussie wondering how many red cards have been issued tonight. So it's a total of 5 so far. And again, look, the refs are absolutely on point down here, and they're paying attention to make sure all teams are playing clean and fair games. So, especially if you're new to the league or if you're not used to that kind of reffing, it can be pretty brutal. So you need to be on top of your game when you're playing here. Alright, and again, for the final match tonight, we should be seeing Wreck-It versus TGB Gorillas. And again, shout out to the TGB Gorillas. They've driven for 2.5 hours down from the Sunshine Coast to come and compete in tonight's games. And 1 minute to the start of the final match for the evening. Hey Justin, good question. Justin in the comments asking, is this type of match only played at Hardcore? That's a how long is a piece of string kind of question. This format, the way that the points are awarded and the way that the refs are applying those penalties and whatnot, absolutely it's only available at Hardcore Speedball, but there are other forms of Speedball that are played around Australia as well. Alright, here we go. Looks like Wreck-It Crew is on the right-hand side and TGB Gorillas on the left-hand side.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh, really nice sweep there from Wreck-It Crew, straight up along the snake, down around the back end, back into Castle.
Touch game! 5 players in the middle! Wreck-It win the game! Switch sides!
And you heard it from Rowan, Wreck-It win that game, switching sides. So you'll see Wreck-It Crew on the left-hand side and TGB Gorillas on the right-hand side. That'll be game 2 of match 6.
Teams, are you ready? Refs, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
You'll see TGB pushing really hard into the castle, nice and early as per usual. And you can hear Wreck-It has clearly seen him in there calling out Castle. Oh, and TGB's managed to make some ground into the middle there and grab the flag. So there are points awarded to the team who does grab that flag first. And looks like they've hung it. And sounds like Rowan couldn't actually see the player at the end there, hence the pause at the end.
TGB, take the game! Switch sides!
And TGB take that game. So I think that's one each side. The final win on this next game will determine the winner of the match.
All even. Who wants it? Who wants the bag? All right, team! Who wants it?
And you can hear Rowan egging them on. Which team wants the win? Hopefully this will be a tough fight. Now again, we've got TGB on the left-hand side and Wreck-It on the right. Nice push into Castle from TGB. A lot of chatter going on from Wreck-It crew here. Looks like they're pushing for that sweep again. And looks like that player was cornered, had no way out.
That's game! Right players in the middle!
So if you're tuning in for the first time, you'll probably start to see a bit of distinction between the teams that do communicate and work together. It actually allows them to start covering certain angles and maneuver around the enemy team. And it looks like Wreck-It crew take the match. And that's the end of match 6, so we just need to wait for the final results now for the evening to see which teams will in fact be going through into the following rounds. And of course, one team will be sent home and won't be returning for the rest of this season. For now though, let me just quickly put on another ad. And of course, I've got to remind you that Hardcore Speedball is in fact hosted at Hardcore Blasters. So if you're looking for casual games, get in and play as well. Plenty of tickets available to come down and play amongst the, I think they call it the character field, where you get kind of standard gameplay, all sorts of objective stuff as well. Private sessions are also available. So yeah, go check it out. Looks like a lot of supporters from Wreck-It crew in the comments as well. A lot of people celebrating those games. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for coming into the chat, and thanks for supporting your teams. It's really good to have people in here and egging everyone on. Now, make sure you stick around as well. The teams are all about to re-enter the field with the final results, so you can find out who's actually going to be heading through to the following rounds and move forward. So again, teams here are in fact competing for, I believe it's $1,200 prize. So there is a bit of, something to win at the end, as well as bragging rights. They do get the name put up on a plaque, and they do walk away with a trophy as well. So it'll be good to see who gets to move forward, especially considering these teams are a bit fresher. Hey Vadios, thanks for joining us in the chat as well. Good to see you watching and having a chat. All right, you can see the team starting to enter the field here and all shaking hands. It's always good to see the good sportsmanship and the camaraderie and meeting people and all the social aspect of these tournaments as well. It's always a good time down here.
It's a very brief presentation. It's not exactly the grand final. It's only around whatever it is. Fairly brutal competition. Only 2 teams can go through. So the 2 teams that are going through, we guessed it, Racket through. Congratulations, fellas. And the 2 GB Gorillas. Havoc squad. Somebody had to lose. You guys were hampered by cards a little bit. I've no doubt the results would be quite different if you tightened it up a little bit. So good luck for next time, and well done for having a crack and keeping them honest. All right, that's it.
All right, so you heard it there first. Moving through to the next rounds, the Wreck-It Crew and the TGB Gorillas. So you'll be seeing them again in a couple of rounds' time, facing off against some other teams. Now again, thank you to the Season 1 stream sponsors, GBA Gel Blasters Australia, RPM Tech Shop, GBU, Tidy Toys, Vadios Clothing Company, and Strikeforce Mod Shop. And of course, I'm Trent Bow from SOFTOPS. Make sure you tune in next week as well. We've got some more teams entering the field. Next week, you'll see Damage Cartel A, Valhalla's Keepers, and Yakuza playing off for the right to move through. If you didn't tune in last season, you would have seen Damage Cartel A and Yakuza did in fact face off in the grand final. So it'll be good to see them on the field again. And it's going to be some really tough competition. We're seeing a lot of good plays and coordination from Valhalla's Keepers as well. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys play next week. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got any questions, please make sure you hit us up in the comments and we'll try to get to those. If we don't address it straight away, we'll of course hit it up in the next stream. Catch you next week.
You